What's up guys, Nightingale here and welcome back to the Ultimate Beginner's Handbook. Today we're talking about joining a guild. So this will be the last time I do this, but just what we want to do is do the housekeeping stuff and then we want to jump on into the rest of the video. So for anybody that's just jumping into these videos, I wanted to cover this really through the first 4 videos just to make sure that you as a new player when jumping in understand what's going on. From here on out, I'm going to assume you've at least seen one of the original 4 videos here, technically 5. So what this is anything from the orange text and below is future-based projects. Anything that is orange text and behind is in the playlist already. So that what we want you to do is we want you to be able to watch this course from front to back. It is literally going to be carrying you through the progression as you see it and as you need it. Now, next up, what we want to do is also in the first minute is give you a generic overview of what is going to be happening inside of the video. So instead of all that stuff prior, we'll now just be coming straight to this point. And inside this, you will be able to see what is going to be in the video. Now, remember, most of these videos are going to be long and there will be timestamps below taking you to most of the major highlights here. And maybe there might even be some more stuff if I think you need to come back to reference this specific point. It will be linked down below. So we've got quite a busy one today because we got a lot to cover, and let's go ahead and jump over to the beginner account. We've reached account level 10, so hooray, we're there. We're now able to do this. Also getting ranked up and all of that good stuff. Sorry it's taking me a little bit of time to get through some of these. It is... They're a lot of work, but I'm so happy to be able to do this for you guys. So, the first thing we want to talk about is joining or creating a guild. Now, here's what we're going to say. For, let's say, new players, you probably shouldn't join, or you shouldn't create a guild. It's better for you to join an already established guild. Now, if you happen to be a content creator or something like that, or you have a larger community of people that are moving from game to game, then it's probably a decent idea for you to maybe create a guild. So what we're going to do today is we're going to show you a couple different ways. So we've officially reached count level 10. You're going to be able to read over that. I'm skipping it because here's how this works. So typically the way this is this is randomly popped up. This is completely random. Every time you click on this, this will be different. So if I click refresh, I'm just curious, will one of mine pop up here? Because we actually have some space. So you're able to go through and see different guilds, and you can find one, whether it's a name that you relate to, a logo that you like, or anything like that, you are able to see it. So no, mine aren't there. Well, a friend tells you to, hey, come join their guild. How do you do that? Quite simple. You come up here and you search. In this case, we're gonna say, I got invited to Thicker Plot. Enter the name and search. And there we go. There is my guild. Now, obviously, I don't have the requirements to get in this, and this is mostly just to keep from low-level people from instantly trying to join these guilds. The reason being is because they're a little bit more established. They're completely new player friendly, but they're just a little more established, so I try not to have just instantaneous new player accounts, especially if we have to bring in people that are not from YouTube and just random. If we have to bring in somebody just to keep the roster full, I hope to have a little bit more established. But in some cases, we have, actually, I believe in the case of Plots R Us, I think anybody can actually apply and join that one. So if I come here, why isn't it not, there it is. The cursor didn't tick in. But if we go to Plots R Us, there you go. This one has no rank limit and you'd be able to join this guild. So there's a couple different things that are new here that also was not mentioned or been taught really along the way is you now can search for tags. So if you need to check in every day, if you are a casual guild, it will now start showing you these tags, which is cool. Lasting 24 effects. Actually, I can probably read to you and kind of give you an idea of what guilds are going to be expected out of these tags. Let's just do this, because why not? Check in every day. Means you're going to probably get booted if you don't. At least 3 days a week. Meaning they're pretty lax with their requirements. Free attendance, they literally don't care. You can be AFK for all eternity, and they'll kick you when they need the space. Then areas of expertise, newbie friendly. That's really awesome. You should probably be looking for those. Wannabe top guild are for sweats. Arena experts is just for bragging rights. This really doesn't mean anything, but hey, guess what? They use it. Casual is probably something good. Lasting effect random, meaning that would be the buffs, meaning they're not consistently up. Probably stay away from that. And lasting effect 24/7 means they keep their guild buffs up 24/7. Well, for the sake of the video, and because, well, let's be real, I probably might need one more guild. We're gonna go the extra mile, and we're gonna create a guild today just to show you the process for whatever reason. All right, well, because it's a Plot Hunter guild, we have to have the arrow emblem. We are going to be a check-in every day, a lasting effect, and newbie friendly. Oh, we can only select up to 2 tags. All right. Newbie friendly, lasting 24 effects. Well, that's actually a lie, because we won't be able to do that right away. So those will be the 2 tags we're going to use. No rank, automatic. I will put it into selective because I don't want people just instantly joining in. Frames are something, I don't know why, I'll be honest, I don't know why this is here. You have 0 access to frames right away. This basically is for the top 100. When you see one of these guilds, know that you're probably going to get clapped. And as a new player, you probably won't be joining any of these that have a frame on it unless they are literally desperate or it is a retired top 100 guild. All right, so we are going to go for please be available. I actually didn't check this, and I should have checked if this was available, but it's not, but we're gonna give it a shot, and if it is, it is. If it's not, all right. So here we go. Ah, it is. I knew it. All right. Well, let's make sure we get rid of all of this. Yep, and denied. So we're gonna go with, let's see here. I might have to come up with a cheeky name to be able to do this. So I'll be right back if I get it to work. Okay, this one's a stretch. I'm not sure if it's gonna work, but let's see. Does this end up working? Oh, it works. Nice. So I will put it in the description below for anybody on Global. If you apply to this guild, you're getting in. So we officially have MILF Hunter. I love it. So yeah, that actually ended up working. Okay, now the next thing we want to do is give you a quick overview of the guild. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump over to the main account so that you guys can see that. Also, let me get that off so it's not as bright and washed out looking. So here we go. Let's move over to the main account, which should be this one right here. Yes, you can see it. All right. So here you are. This is inside Plot Hunter. And what we want to do is we're going to take you really from top to bottom and kind of just give you a generic overview, and then we're going to talk about a whole lot of stuff. So this is going to be the main menu that you access when you join into a guild. So that'll be this menu right over here. Just click here on guild, and this is what instantly pops up. Now you're going to have a whole lot of stuff here to go through in the UI and things like that, but basically here's what it is. You've got the ability to manage your guild, and in this case, I'm going to put up lasting effects and check in every day so that that's there. We're going to hit selective, so that's up to date. I haven't done this. Actually, I swore I did this, but I guess I didn't. You'll have access to records of being able to see what has been done, the activity, Guild War-based stuff, World Boss-based stuff. All this stuff really isn't super, super important, but it is here just so that you know that it is. The check-in rewards, this tells you what it is per check-in. Basically, the milestones are here, but in the terms of guilds, it's actually 8, 16 are the 2 big milestones that you need to hit. At least the way we work things here in the Plot Hunter based guilds, so do keep that in mind. Next up you have the battlefield, which is where Guild War, World Boss, which we will cover in a minute, especially because we do want to talk about this in Ancient Inheritance, which is coming very, very soon. from the release of this. This video is being recorded on 5/9/2022, so May 9th, 2022, for those of you who the numbers are weird for you guys. I'm just kidding. No. In the US, that's how we do it. But yeah, so this is coming soon. We'll have a guide specifically, just probably a generic guide that's not inside of any handbook or anything like that, but just a basic ancient inheritance guide for everybody just thrown out there. Aid, which we will talk about in a minute. Donating, we'll talk about in a minute. The member shop that we will talk about and all that good stuff. The captain shop, so you, the creator of the guild, will have access to this shop, or any vice captains will have access to this. Weekly missions are something we're going to cover here in a little bit, and Great Achievement has still not been put into the game 3 years later. We are waiting, according to the devs, that this will be added in, so maybe by the point you're watching this, if it hasn't been updated or I haven't got around to it yet, this might be in the game, but we have no idea what that will be. So for a second, we're just going to sit here inside of the guild hall, let you get to look at some cool animations here for just a minute. We want to talk about what is expected of you for being in a guild. So we've got several different categories that we're going to talk about. We're going to break it down into daily tasks, weekly tasks, guild war, world boss, and then ancient inheritance. When that comes around, those will be the things that are going to be, this is what will be expected of you for being in a guild. Well, the first one we're going to talk about are your daily tasks. So what do you need to do? First off, whenever you get in, the first thing you should do is log in, go through your check-in rewards, and then come straight to guild. No matter what time it is and where you happen to be, make sure you check into your guild. For global, it resets right now at 6 a.m. And if we do end up getting rid of our daylight savings time in some point in the future, it'll be still 6 a.m. But supposedly if we do have it this year, it's a weird combination. But it might be 5 a.m. on global for Eastern time for me. So that's reset, but you want to make sure that you at least come in once a day. And then make sure you click the daily reward button here, which will give you those rewards that you see here. Brave crests and a little extra gold. And it also gives the guild gold. So don't forget to do this. This is actually really important. Your next daily task is to come in, and yeah, it looks like I'm skipping around, but there's a reason for it, is come in and go ahead and straight go to donate. Now, you might gonna say, well, that's 50,000 gold I don't really have. Go sell a blue piece of gear or something like that. Get around to getting 50,000 gold, you need to be doing this daily. Not only does it give the guild honor coins, which we use to buy you stuff, it's also getting you a good source of brave crests daily. Next up, you may not have access to this right away as you start, but you will in time. And that is the proof of courage, which is you'll start seeing when you start getting urgent missions pop up. I'm not 100% sure where that is yet. I will be getting to that in just a little bit. But the proofs of courage you will want to donate daily and try to get 3 of them always in stock. Now, I think there are some rewards and stuff coming along the way that you will end up having a good bit of these in the beginning. But yeah, donate these because you are going to be after the commander's armbands, which is super, super vital to your early game progression. So make sure that you are donating these max at a time. Next up is the aid. Now, this is probably one of the more controversial things that we can talk about inside of the guild. And you're like, wait, this can be controversial? Yes. And here's the reason why. There is a system that is better for you, the player, and better for you, the guild. Now, in established guilds, the experience that you gain through donating will eventually be void. As you can see, we are at Plot Hunter, a level 20 guild. This is as high as it can go for now. There are no extra benefits that they have talked about or added in to being anything higher than level 20. So when we reach that 9,999,999 EXP bar, that's it. It's over. We've earned all the experience we can get unless they raise the cap. But right now, the reason why that's there is just so that we keep earning experience. They might have plans to raise this. They may not. So that's one reason why we're going to talk about what to donate and what not to donate. The next is it's more beneficial for you, the new player, because you want to get the maximum amount of brave crests out of here you can a day. So what is available? Let's see if it is... I will need another guild. Give me just a second. I will be right back with a guild that I haven't donated on. Okay, so we're now inside of Thick Plot. We're going to get them featured here for a minute, and we want to talk about aid in just a little bit more detail because I realized being in Plot Hunter, it's not fair because I've already done the donations for the day where, and I can't do it anything because I don't have anything on the Ultimate Beginner's Handbook account because it's still brand spanking new, so there's nothing that I can request or show off. But at least here on this account, should have a little bit more that I can show. So this is something that's going to be asked of you daily. You want to come in and refresh your aid every single day. Now there is a theory to the madness here, and let's talk about it. We have each element of runes. Now this is something that you're probably not going to see, especially if you're following on with the handbook and this is the next video in the series. You probably haven't seen a whole lot of runes coming in other than through a couple quests. You'll be able to farm these later, so don't panic. But there are two types that are available to be donated as of now inside of the aid system, which is the greater rune, which is the smaller, or the normal rune, which is the smaller one, and then we have the greater, which is the triangular one, and there's a hexagon, I believe, is the epic rune. So you can't actually request those, but these two are the ones that are acceptable. Now the reason why we typically lean towards the greater runes is because of efficiency. You can donate one of these and max out a day, or you have to donate two of these a day to max out. So therefore, in terms of efficiency, it's better to do the singular greater rune donation to somebody in the guild. Now, next up are the hunt materials. Now, this will have a whole bunch of different materials based upon each hunt. But we have one specific one, as you saw in the guild just a second ago, that is highly, highly, highly sought after for doing this because everybody starts out farming wyvern. Now, right now, you're still too new to be doing that, but the reason why we're bringing this up now is just so that you know when it comes time, it'll be easier to farm up this material when you run out, because eventually you will run out. It sucks for me, it sucks for you, we just have to deal with it. Eventually you'll have to go farming specifically for these. But right now, because this is a new-ish account here, I don't have access to all of those, and this is literally just a GM alt account that I use to just do my captain's duties. Then, the elephant in the room, the big thing that everybody seems to want to ask but doesn't understand why everybody rejects this so hardly are the catalysts. Now, yes, you'll be able to request every single one of the rare catalysts. Now, this is highly frowned upon in Epic 7. And here's the reason for it. The reason why is this. It is cheaper for you as a player to go out to Unrecorded History, which you haven't got there yet, but you will, to go to Unrecorded History, farm up with the 200 energy, 240 energy it's going to take you to get 2 catalysts. And along the way, you're going to be gaining experience, or potentially in this case, penguin experience, which we'll get to later on in the guides. You'll be earning fodder, which you'll need to level up, which we'll be getting to that again later on. And then just generally, you may also be earning AP towards the AP shop to buy catalysts. That's ultimately what you're after. And you may also get another or a different type of catalyst to drop along the way. Now, why we also say this is bad is because there's another player in the guild who's probably in a similar scenario view of trying to also level up those same let's be real, everybody in the early stages are trying to level up their wyvern unit, so everybody's asking for the same group of catalysts because everybody's dry on it because it requires so many units. Therefore, it is optimal for you guys to go farm your catalysts. Now there's a second reason for this, and that is this, the total efficiency of doing this inside the guild. Now, as you can see, I had to do this one day because somebody needed the experience, and they're like, hey, can you pop up a rune request? It happened to be Fire Day that day, and a few people needed it, and I've just never reset it because I don't want to take materials away from the guild. That's the way I look at it because this account's not progressing. But you notice that every single one of them here has this Bone Mana Drake Claw as their donation. And the reason being is because this is what they're trading back and forth. Yes, that's correct. You are trading this back and forth. Now, we do allow normal runes to be done, but typically, in terms of efficiency, we want people to do the greater runes as you see here. This is so that you can hit the magical cap right here of 200. Now, it'll take a few donations of this and 1 greater rune, and you are at 200. If not, you will stop at 180 if you have done this properly. Now, yes, It's optimally better to try to hit 200, but 180 is completely and 100% acceptable for this because you will be trading claws back and forth to your members. Thus, it'll take a lot longer for you to run out, and that's why we try to get it all in one category. But in theory, you can technically use all of those level and those grade hunt mats because, let's be real, it costs the same in experience and Brave Crest back and forth. Now, the other reason why it's frowned upon on Catalyst is this: it takes significantly more amount of Catalyst donations, and you're just going to go broke trying to hit 180. Therefore, you will tend to see that there are a lot of guilds when you join these random guilds where they're full of Catalyst and requests are never getting filled because, let's be real, nobody has access to it. Now, we're going to jump back to the to my main guild so that we can talk about a few other things. Okay, now we're back to the main account, and the next thing we want to talk about is what is weekly expected of you inside the guild. Well, there's going to be a couple different things, and we're going to break it up to you like this. You're going to be responsible for needing to do your world bosses when you get to that level. You will want to be taking your guild war fights when you get to that, and we'll talk about all this again in just a little bit. And then also the big thing here are your weekly missions. Now, this is really a new update that just recently got added into the game, and it's really, really, really good. This was a major quality of life change that you new players will never have realized wasn't here. So take this for granted. It's an amazing system, and it's really simple to do. You will have randomly, everybody's missions are a little bit different because I can have one account show different missions than the other, but you will have random missions that you will need to do. Certain ones are all guaranteed. The daily check-in and the daily proofs are always there, but everything else changes depending on where you're at. So make sure that you take the time to go through in the week cycle and clear these out because the rewards here are actually really, really good. One, you are giving the guild proofs of courage by just naturally doing this. Two, you're helping your guildmates by earning the guild points, which gives experience to this lovely bar up here. Now, there's a couple things in here that is super amazing for you new players. Not only is it giving you access to lesser equipment charms, which you're going to be broke in the beginning, so leveling gear up in the beginning is huge. So there you go. Now, 3 is arguably nothing, but it's something at least in the beginning. It's better than nothing. Next up is the Brave Crest, which again, you will want as many of these as possible, and we'll talk about this why later. Next up is, this is actually really, really good. I can't tell you how many 4 and 5 stars I've actually popped out of these now. Since this has come up, this is a really good quality of life change. You'll get one of a random 3, or one of these 3 at random, and you will be able to get a elemental summon to be able to summon a elemental version of one of these units. Next up is more commander armbands. This will help cut down on the grind that's needed because you're going to need a lot of these over time, and we'll talk about this in a little more in depth when we get to the main source of earning these things. Next up, gold transmit stones are amazing. You'll be wanting to use these to try to summon Moonlight 5s. If you end up getting a boss one, you'll need these to get their imprints. We'll talk about that when that eventually comes around. Next up is the equipment conversion selection chest. This will be something that you will want to start saving up now because eventually when you get into hunts, you'll be after trying to find specific pieces of gear, specifically right side gear is where you're going to want to use these chests to try to really hone in when trying to find really high quality gear. So take your time, go through your week, and try to do these missions as you can. Next up, the thing we want to talk about is the main source of these armbands, which is Guild War. Now, I'm going to plan on doing eventually something specific to really go in depth into Guild War, but this is going to be a generic overview just so that you understand what is expected of you when you join the guild. Now, I'm okay to say that we are absolutely getting stomped this Guild War. They got a hold of us, and they were a top 300 guild and are just running through us really, really, really easily. Now, this screen is during an active guild war. It'll be slightly different depending on where you are at. If you are in an off day or a Saturday, specifically for us, is another screen. So between the other 3 days a week that don't have guild war, you'll have a slightly different screen here. But what you want to do is when you come in, the first thing you want to do, no matter when you join a guild, the most courteous thing that you can do is just come in, click auto on your defense. It'll be down, a button will be somewhere over here. Click go into defense and set up a defense and just click auto immediately. This way, if the vice captain or captain who accepted you in, they can now set you up inside of a tower so that you can now be a part of Guild War. Now, when it comes to our guilds, we let everybody participate. We don't have weird rules or you can't have this, you can't own that. You don't have to have X thing and X tower. We're not like that. That's not what we are about. So we want to make sure that you are here because we understand that armbands are one of the most vital currencies that you're going to need, which we'll talk about when we get to the shop. So this will be the major source. You will have 3 battles that you'll have to take in general. Now, keep this in mind. New players, as soon as you can, start losing your battles as soon as possible. Now, that sounds a little harsh. Lose your battles right away. It is better for you as a new player to lose your battle than it is for you to not take it because you can't participate or you don't feel like you're going to be able to win. It's better for you to lose those fights and earn those armbands than to have no participation in this. Now, certain guilds may actually care if you're losing. And you're probably in the wrong spot if that is the case. Try to make sure that you find a home where they understand because you want to be earning as many armbands as you possibly can. Unfortunately for you, that's only 30 armbands a guild war. So a total of 90 can be earned in a week if you're having to lose all 3 fights. This is also one of the reasons why we mentioned Dark Corvus is because he will allow you, and especially some of the lower dead guilds, to come in and absolutely slay at least one. So earning at least a draw in this case would earn you 60 armbands per guild war, which is great. As long as we teach you how to use it and do it properly, you'll be able to earn at least that. Now, I'm not telling everybody to sit there and start now rolling all of their accounts over to Dark Corvus, but this was one of the reasons why he got bumped up so much. Because in low-level guilds, he'll be able to do quite a lot relatively cheap. So in here, I will show you my tower and it's about to go down, but you will be able to see a log depending on what your units are and where you're set up. You'll be able to tell your attacks, and in this case, you can see my attacks here. You can sort by defenses and things like that, but you will be expected to try to participate while being in Guild War. Now, obviously, not everybody can participate every single time because life first. As long as we all agree on that life comes first, sure. But let's be real, you have a 24-hour window of attacking, so it kind of comes down to, you get up, you want to do your morning routine, and you can come do your guild wars then. Or if it's the last thing you want to do before you go to bed, cool, you have the time and ability to do so. But try to get your guild war attacks in, and the reason why I haven't done mine is because I clean up shop. When there are things that aren't taken down, my goal is to come in and make sure that we gain the most amount of havoc and take down as many towers as possible so that we can get a high as possible score. Now, the next thing we want to talk about is actually really good that it is up right now, which is World Boss. Now, we're going to set this up and teach you how to properly do this. Now, I've had some arguments or discussions with some players on what is the most efficient way to do this. But for new players, here, and this is honestly for really anybody, the most efficient thing you can do is this. So this is another source of Commander's armbands, which is great. The first thing you want to do, again, once you've set up your defense, is probably come over here, and now you want to set up your support management. Now, there is a way this system works, and this is going to get a little over your head, but just bear with me because this is something that I end up actually having to reference our guilds to, be like, hey, remember this, when they forget. Or when people leave their things ungeared and all sorts of stuff, you'll see why. When you get in, the first thing you'll want to do in the beginning is just hit auto. Let's be real. You're not going to have a bunch of units, but give yourself a few weeks, and I really say a few weeks, or a week or so, and then you want to come back and keep updating this. Now, the reason why this is important is because this is basically, unfortunately, one of the coolest pieces of content that is literally just a calculator, unfortunately. You want to come in and you will want to sort by CP. Now, why this is important is to make sure that you set up the highest CP team so that it gives you the highest possible chance when your friends use your units to earn a score, which we'll show you in a minute. Now, you can look across mine, and every single element that has an advantage, or was supposed to be set up as advantageous, is running the same team across. The reason is because it's more beneficial for the player to have a higher score than the elemental advantage. The further you get into the game, the more the elemental advantage can kick in and make it easier. But no new player is going to have the ability to get very high end scores in the beginning to be able to make a team that is going to outscore your initial 4. Imprints matter and all this stuff here. So this is where dupes will matter, is inside something like this. You can see my score is 585,713 for this specific team. This can change immediately and in real time if you are changing and moving gear around your units. My score should actually be a little bit higher than this, but I realize my Vivian is wearing something from earlier on stream, or else this score I think would be 189,000 if I actually had on her pieces that are specific for this build. So a lot of people feel like they have to have elemental advantage on every single one of these. While yes, it does help out, remember, it's more calculated off of the actual total number here. So that's support management. Next up is actually the world boss, and this is why I say this is such cool content, but horribly ruined because it's a cutscene. Well, here's what you do. You come in and you're gonna have supporters. Now, depending on where you are in the day will determine who's available. It's only been live for 46 minutes, so most everybody in here is going to be available. But now you can see that there are a vast number of different CPs available for different teams. Most of them are set up to elemental advantage because they don't watch my guides. Yeah, calling them out. But let's be real, that's okay. So the idea is, honestly, is you want to take the highest possible. But in this case, for this video, I want to prove a point doesn't kind of matter when you get down to it. So we're gonna take somebody that I know is a little bit lower that I can still probably get a triple S on for this week. So if we take, let's see here, Rune from Stream, and I go take his 508,000 team, I should probably still be able to score triple S because I'm gonna be able to hit elemental advantage, plus I have several very high-end built fire units. Each element rotates throughout every so many days, so it doesn't matter the element, it's just gonna always be here. This will be something you're gonna do every time it's available. We come in here, we click team formation, and now here's the cool thing. You just click auto assign, let it do the work for you. So it's gonna cost us 20 energy to do, great, not a problem whatsoever. We hit all the classes that are required, cool, that check mark's there. We have 13 enhanced elements, so that's gonna help our bonus score, and we've also hit the team mission of 4 knights and 4 mages. So that's gonna be awesome and great. Plus we're adding runes 4 units to our team. So here we go. Here is some really cool looking content that is ruined by just a skip button. So if my team is built well enough, I should score between S and triple S on this. Now I can hopefully in time jump over to now, say, Dewey's and be able to use his and still be able to score triple S by even me burning all of these. Well, basically what's happening is this is just running through and it's some cool animations. You can see your whole party here doing stuff. The boss attacks. It looks amazing. I mean, come on. This looks awesome. Why is it wasted? Why can't I actually use skills, come up with strategies? Why can't we, there needs to be something more to this. This looks so amazing. I would love to do more inside this. Make it more than just, there it is. It's over. And we'll show you how quick it actually ends. So here we go. Do I hit triple S plus? Yes, I do. Okay, now here's the cool thing. You get rewards from this. Now there are 3 levels of rewards. Level 1 reward is the no glowy box, which is like this box right here. Reward level number 2 is the blue glowing box. This will be a slightly different thing, so let's pop our chests and see what we end up getting. So you click open all, and here we go. So we've got some Brave Crest, we get gold, we get artifact, or we get, in this case, equipment charms. We get more gold, we get catalyst from here, gold, and Brave Crests. Cool. So we hit confirm, but here's also what else we got. We got for participating, we got 1 proof of courage. Every day this is up, this is guaranteed 2 proofs of courage. So there you go. My score is now triple S. Well, we get to do this one more time. So now, for the sake of the video, I am gonna go grab the highest level one, which if he's still available, I think it's 3 uses per person is allowed. So if the guild hasn't already ripped through all of these, we should have access to Kisses and Cream. There he is. King's also up here. Okay, cool. So we're going to end up using King Leonis. So his is 682 with his comp. Now, he doesn't have any elemental enhanced elements, which is fine. I think I can still get through this with the units I have. So we still even get the check. Now, this one, I think with a 156 bonus, I don't think I'm going to end up hitting it all the way through. But let's see. So now this is actually how this content really goes. It comes in, and then you start clicking right about here as soon as it comes in. And if I'm about right in the spot, this is a little bit larger than normal. There it is. I was right on it. There you go. And now World Boss is over with. That's really the content. It's very sad and depressing. Do we get triple S? Triple S plus. Barely, but I made it. And this one, I didn't get the yellow proc reward. Unfortunate, but it's fine. That basically is like Molagoras. It can be epic gear. It can be gold transmit stones. There's a lot of cool stuff that can actually drop inside of that. And we actually got gear mostly this time. So this was kind of an interesting pull to see. Garbage. Garbage. Probably garbage. And then that's obviously garbage. But this is also another thing that you can get. You're able to see your battle results of who did what in damage. Not that this really matters, but hey, it still gives you an idea of what is going on here. So next up, we want to talk about the member shop. Now this is going to be a weekly, daily thing depending on what you're doing and how you're trying to buy stuff out. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cover this from the new version of Thick Plot, because I don't think I've bought anything in here. I have not. Good. Okay, so the shop is full here. As far as these up here, these two equipment pieces, let me actually check before I make a dumb statement here live. No, okay, so it is available in all guilds. So as soon as you create a guild, these two pieces are here and they are amazing. Now, I'm gonna put a warning here or a disclosure. I don't know how long these are supposed to be here. This is part of the gear from Last Ancient Inheritance. This is really good gear, and for new players, if this is the case and this is gonna stay here forever, these are two insanely good speed pieces to help you along the way. This is a really good speed sword, and this is a really good speed necklace. So your priority will be coming around to trying to buy these early-ish on in your gameplay, but we're gonna cover things in a little bit different here. So first off, what is available in the store? Obviously, these pieces from Ancient Inheritance may be here, hopefully 6 months now in our future. You know, those are still there because I think it needs to be there. But here's what else is here. These are guild artifacts. These are really, really good. These can go on any unit in the game. These aren't limited to class-based things. So we'll just quickly mention them, and you can read up on them later. You have Proof of Valor, which you'll hear a lot about along the way. You have Victorious Flag. You're going to hear a good bit about Symbol of Unity at some point. You'll also hear a good bit about Warhorn later on down the road. You'll hear about Guide to a Decision. It's a good one. And you'll also hear about Bastion of Hope. Next, you will see that every month you'll be able to buy a 4-star Phantasma. While 900 seems expensive early on, you'll eventually get to it. You see that you have gold transmit stones, but now the currency changes. The currency changes to Commander armbands. Now we're going to give you the whole rundown on what to buy and what not to buy here in just a minute. Next up is the weekly Molagora, and you should always be buying these. And I even buy these just in case I ever decide to play the account, I have these extra Molagoras. You have Mystic Metals, this is also part of a recent update. Now you're going to see something very tempting here, which are the Elemental Summons, these are the 4- and 5-star variations, meaning there is no 3-star in these. These may look tempting, but again, we'll talk about this in a little bit. Next up, you have Catalyst Chest. Now this is a rare Catalyst Chest box, and you're able to buy 5 of these a week. You have Epic Catalyst Chest. You can buy only 2 of these a week. You have a random box. Now the reason why it looks the same is because this can drop Epic Catalysts, and let's just go ahead and take a rip here and see if we end up getting one. Are we going to only get... Nope, we only got normal rare Catalyst. But there is a chance that you can get the Epic Catalyst. Great gains for you. It cost you literally nothing. Now, these are a little bit different than the one you earn in the other one. These are random. So when you buy this, it is a random any one of the fonts that are available inside of this. Or founts or fonts. I can't remember what the spelling of it was. But you're able to buy 1 for armbands and 1 for the Brave Crests. Next up, something that a lot of you newer players are going to want to start taking advantage of is the Labyrinth Compass. This is another really good thing that you're going to want to start looking at. Is this will be something you will want to buy out, because this is going to help you progress your Labyrinth a lot earlier. And then you have the #1 source of artifact charms right here. This is the one reason why we want you guys to be so efficient when it comes to earning your Brave Crest through donations and things, is so that you can come in here and spam buy these when everything else is bought out for the week. So now let's run from top to bottom on what you should buy. So this will probably be its own little section on what to buy in the shop. So here we go. Obviously, the 2 88 speed pieces right here, hands down, these need to be bought at some point on your account. The sooner the better, because it's good quality gear. Try to work it into one of your weeks. Now, we'll be talking about these a little more in depth, and this is going to depend on a couple different things, but chances are Proof of Valor is a must-buy, and you will at least want one of these copies maxed out. We'll talk about why in another video and a little bit later on when we get on to Wyvern farming on if you end up skipping buying this and jumping down to Symbol of Unity. Victorious Flag is something you want to skip in the beginning. Eventually you will want to own every single one of these, because there are times when this will be useful, especially in things like Ancient Inheritance coming. Symbol of Unity, you will eventually want to buy this out. This is a fantastic artifact, and unfortunately, this can only be held for 1 unit. Warhorn is another artifact that you will see a lot of people talk about later on in the game, and a lot of different PvE and PvP content. This can be very advantageous, so you'll eventually want to get to this. Guide to a Decision is a nice, like, tanky type artifact. Really, really cool. Definitely something you'll want to get, but there is an order here, and I'm about to get to it in who is what. And then Bastion of Hope is a fantastic artifact for Soul Weavers and Knights. This is a really good artifact, and it's actually quite slept on. So, what is the order here? Depending on where you're at, the order is Proof of Valor, Symbol of Unity. Depending on where you are, one of those will be the first one you go after. Typically why we say this is because depending on how your Wyvern team gets set up will determine if the value of which one you can buy first. Most players, end up needing Proof of Valor first. Therefore, it's better just to go in and buy Proof of Valor. Then, next up is Symbol of Unity. This is going to be a really good artifact, and especially a really good damaging artifact as you progress into PvP later on. Warhorn will be situational, but chances are there's a good chance that after you get done doing Proof and Symbol of Unity, this will probably be your next purchase. Then, in my opinion, the next one you'll want to buy is Bastion of Hope. This will be very, very advantageous as you get on in the game. This will be really good because ER is very, very powerful if it's done right, but that's a whole thing for another day. Then probably Guide to a Decision, and then Victorious Flag. Next up, always buy the Phantasma every single month. I'm not buying it because, again, I'm not leveling up units, and I have a bunch of these things already stored up. One of the biggest traps in the game, and it looks like such a great, tempting thing to buy, but do not buy the gold transmit stone here. These are way too rare and way too precious for you to be spending these on. This is a veteran-only thing. Once all that stuff up there has been bought for those armbands, then you come down and start buying stuff like this, which you should also start getting flicked. You don't buy the Mystic Metals weekly. That's a veteran-only thing. These are way too precious, again, in the early days to be doing that. The Elemental Summons, don't touch these. This is 1 bookmark per. So this costs a total of 500 Commander Armbands to buy 1 summon. Don't do this. Avoid these at all costs. Avoid the Rare Catalyst box at all costs. Avoid the Epic Catalyst chest at all costs. This is not something you buy. As you saw, I bought these. Definitely buy those weekly. Do buy these weekly. Again, I'm not progressing this account, so I don't buy this. I'm not doing Labyrinth, so I don't buy these as well. And then whenever you're done for the week, once the gear's been bought, so assuming you've bought the Ancient Inheritance gear and everything else has been bought out, your compass has been bought out, then sure, you can zero out your week and on lesser artifact charms and be done with that. Next up is the Captain's Shop. Now, this is only going to be seen by a few people, but I will explain this so that if you are starting a guild, you understand the responsibilities as a captain of what is required of you. Now, I'm probably going to pop up here in just a minute. We're going to pop over and I'm going to bring up a slot to show you the breakdown on math here. But what you want to do as a captain is you want to make sure that you keep your guild buffs up in a 24-hour period. Now, for new guilds starting out, here's how you want to do this. At 8 members, start the gold buff. Once you achieve 16 active members, then you move in to the EXP buff, which I will show you these here in just a minute on my main account so you can see how this works. You will never buy the Blessing of Healing. Now, I personally wish that Smilegate would update this to something more useful, but hey, here it is. It is garbage. Now, next up is the guild supply chest. The guild supply chest you will want to be smart with. Make sure that you always cover the energy first. That is the most important thing you can do with the Proofs of Courage as a captain, is give out these daily to your members inside the guild. Once you are able to have at least 330, then you can pop this chest. So if you have 300, do not send this chest first thing when it resets. Send your energy first, let them earn this back, and then send this. This doesn't matter where you send it. If you send it Sunday night, a minute before reset, and if you constantly send it a minute after reset has happened, it's still a 6-day timer. So it'll reset, and then it's on for let me rephrase that. It is before, if you do it a minute before reset, it resets, it's back up. So as long as it's done in that week, it's just based off of the week of it. It's not, that's what I meant to say, is it's not a 6-day timer no matter where you hit it. So you guys typically can earn this pretty easily, but just do know that it is something you want to pay attention to. Now, here's something I had to recently talk to one of my friends about, is the energy buff. This one down here for gold, or in this case, it is the guild honor coin, is you need to be careful with where you spend this, because you can go bankrupt very, very quickly. In this case, we only pop this buff whenever there are hunt buffs, which is something you'll eventually learn about here later on as you progress into the game. It's a special buff that comes around typically once a month, and it has a couple different days. We will pop that buff during those special weekends to make sure you get the extra energy, or when we see deemed that we can afford it and there are high energy expenditures coming out due to events or stuff like that, we can try to run this out a little bit more. But this is not something that you can technically afford early on in the game. Now, technically you can afford this at a 30-member guild, but you don't really run a profit, therefore it's not really worth doing. So let's jump over real quick, and I want to show you the breakdown on why we have things working this way. Hi, welcome to Accounting 101 with Nightingale. Today, we're going to be talking about how to run a business successfully. In this episode, but really, we're going to teach you how to run a guild effectively and by the book. So, one member that comes into your guild will give you 50,000 gold a day. 8 members will give you 400,000 gold a day, 16 members will give you 800,000 gold a day, and all 30 members will give you 1.5 million gold a day, assuming that they are all donating. Now, obviously this will go up and down because some people forget or just get busy or they just don't do it, so you cannot count that you will constantly have this. This is why I say you want to think about this in ranges. Now, the next thing that we're going to quickly mention is the 24-hour buff will cost you 400,000 gold a day. Per buff, and then for both buffs to be running will cost you 800,000 gold a day. And then if you want to run the 2 buffs plus the gold energy buff, will give you 1.8 million gold a day will cost your guild. So as you can see here, even with all 30 members, you are running into the red just off of the donations there. Now, yes, there is technically some micro ways of keeping some of that money in there, but at that point, you are so close to being negative, you might as well just call it negative and only do this when seen fit. So, the last thing we want to talk about here before we go on any further is I want to bring up the Plot Hunter Guild one last time, and I want to briefly mention Ancient Inheritance as basically to be seen in a future episode. That won't be just directly in the Beginner's Handbook, but I just do want to cover this. This is content that is part of the guild that is not available at all times. This is a event-based thing. It's really awesome. I can't stress how cool of a PvE experience, or PvE, that this is. This is a really neat thing. I can't wait for new players to get in on this. You can use, you may think you're too new to play, but it auto levels everything up. There's so much really cool stuff to go on here. You're going to be able to coordinate with your guild and do so many certain things. This is a cool, unique way to get your guild together and come in and fight upon a singular goal. Now, when Ancient Inheritance drops, supposedly it's in the next couple of weeks for us. As of May 9th, 2022, it is approaching. So I just wanted to go ahead and say that this is part of your guild, and this is also what will be expected of you. You will be expected to participate in this. Don't go sitting around picking flowers and just fighting random monsters. Listen to your objectives. I don't know how they're going to coordinate this, but now at least we have pings inside of chat, so people will at least see what's going on. So if somebody types in chat, there will be a little orange ping right here, so make sure you do not have that turned off. Some people hate seeing little orange pings, but in this case, make sure that it is there, because your guild may be trying to communicate with how to navigate inside of Ancient Inheritance, because it is a team-based thing. You can't just sit here and wander around picking flowers and expect to be able to beat this content. It takes a joint guild effort to do this, and the rewards, while they are shared, it helps the more people that are able to do this. So just start getting into the game. Summoning will get you more units. Don't worry about it. You'll bring them in. They'll be leveled up. They will be completely level 60 plus 15. This all this good stuff. So don't feel like you can't compete as a brand new player. So if this is available while you join in, great. You're going to have a great time and be able to go in and try to, advance as best as possible. So Ancient Inheritance, a lot of fun. I can't recommend that content enough. So that's going to take care of it for the guild. That is everything you need to know. That's what's expected of you. This is what you should be doing, what you should be looking forward to. There's so much really awesome stuff going on, and I can't wait for you guys to join in guilds. I have very limited space, so unfortunately I can't take in everybody that wants to join. I can try helping out just the few that come, and you get it's first come, first serve to those people. We do have MIしFhunter now, so I can take in some of you guys. That'll be fun. A kind of like a YouTube only thing. We might keep that secret. No, I'm going to tell everybody. Everybody's going to know about MIしFhunter. So, but for real though, I can't thank you guys enough for the support you are giving the channel. It really does mean a lot. We've got from also, actually the last thing I should bring up for anybody that's made it this far, this will probably be the last video that is in the order of the list. I think I'm changing some things up because from what it looks like, there's a few things that need to change around in the order. So the new list will start then. I will also give you a warning then. But seriously, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.